I guess my story is one of a lot of people, I think. There are a lot of people that are first generation here. I was first generation to be born here. Both my parents, born in Nigeria, come over. First, we lived in Shadwell, a place called Shadwell. If you know East London, Tower Hamlets, you know. So we're in Shadwell. From Shadwell, we moved to a place called Limehouse. When I lived in Shadwell, it was terrible. I had to share a room with my two sisters. The house was infested with cockroaches. You know, like them embarrassing stories. Like, I remember one time I went to school and, you know, we're in PE, we're getting changed, and I've brought my clothes out to get changed, and cockroaches come out of a man's bag. Do you know what I mean? And I've had to be like, yo, look at this, the school's so dirty, like, do you know what I mean? And the man, them are killing it, and like, it was a mad time. But you know what's crazy? Sometimes I feel like, because you're surrounded by love, you don't really feel that you're poor, especially when you grow up around other people who are in the same environment, in the same condition. I never really grew up feeling like I was poor because none of us really had nothing. And obviously Tower Hamlets is a different place. Like, I always tell people, I never really experienced racism growing up because the majority is Bangladeshi. Then I would say it's quite even black and white. Depending on your school, white people might even be the minority. So I never really experienced racism like that growing up. A lot of us are growing up poor. White man is poor, Bangladeshi man is poor, Asian man is poor, black man is poor, every man is poor. Do you know what I mean? It's a very deprived area. And I just remember growing up in this council estate feeling like it is what it is. We're just trying to get by. My parents are working multiple jobs. One thing about being young, like in the hood, you get responsibility early. I remember I had to pick my sisters from school, go to school, pick them up from primary school, bring them home, come home, had to look after them until my parents came back from work. Like, I don't even think these things are allowed these days. I don't even know if these things can pass health and safety checks and parenting checks, but them times there was no rules. That parents had to work to survive. Do you know what I mean? It's a different time for them. Sometimes I see people like blame your parents all the time, but at the end of the day, when you think about our parents, they were in a time where there was mad racism, number one. Number two, they didn't have stay. Like, a lot of our parents didn't have stay, so they couldn't even if they wanted to complain, they were scared to complain. They were scared to say anything, thinking that if people find them, they'll get shipped out because they haven't got stay in the country. And so it became a common thing where you have to accept a lot of rubbish and a lot of things that you wouldn't normally accept. For me, I knew that, you know, I just had to do something better. Me, I played sport, so I thought I was going to be a sports person, I'm not going to lie. And then something happened. So we moved house. From Shadwell, we moved to Limehouse. I remember coming home from school, a lot of the time on my estate, there's a lot of spit on the stairs. If you know, in a council estate, on the stairs, there's the chutes where you put rubbish through. So you put your like bags of rubbish in the chute and it goes down to the bins downstairs. These chutes can get filled up quite quickly, or someone puts something in, it doesn't fit, then it gets blocked. And because it's blocked, people then start to leave their rubbish in the stairwell. So it becomes a place that smells, becomes a place there's rats. Obviously people have dogs, so there's dogs pooing, weeing. It's a very dirty place. I remember certain times when we'd have people come and visit us, my mum would make us go and use fairy liquid and water and pour down the stairs. I don't know, was it just me, or did your parents use fairy liquid for everything? Let me know in the comments. Fairy liquid was like some magical liquid that could clean anything and everything. My mum would put fairy liquid water in a bucket and we'd pour it and we'll start cleaning the stairs because we got visitors coming, because you're embarrassed. That's how bad the stairs were. And I remember one time coming from school, coming up the stairs, and as I get up one flight, I look to the next and I see my mum sitting on these stairs. This is not a place where you should be sitting. It's a place where you walk, more time you hold your breath, you're batting away the flies on the thing and just trying to get to your house. She's sitting on the steps. I'm like, Mum, why are you on these steps? And she's like, you know, she slipped. She hurt her leg, she's struggling. She already had a bad leg already. I remember helping her get up, get in the house. She got changed. And we never even spoke about it again, like, because I didn't want to cause her no embarrassment or nothing. The next day I see my mum, she's there smiling, like going back to work. I'm like, Mum, how come you smiling to go to work? Like, after what happened yesterday? She said, listen, I'm happy to go to work because I know that going to work, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to provide for my family. So I'm going there with a smile. And I remember telling myself at that point, Mum, you will never regret your investment in me. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've ever had that moment. Like, for me, these are key pivotal moments to my success today. When I look at the person I am today, sometimes I tell people I take everything as motivation. Give me the job, I'm motivated. Reject me, I'm motivated. Make the money, I'm motivated. Don't have money, I'm motivated. I take everything as motivation. I took that moment of pain, of hardship, of sadness, and I used it as motivation. And I told myself, Mum, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna look after you. I'm gonna make sure that I see your hard work, I see your investment in me, and I'm gonna make sure that it's not going to waste. That became a big why for me to say, Eman, you can't just get by like everyone else. You can't just go to school and crack jokes and mess about. Like, this was a real turning point, because before this, more time I was the class clown, making jokes, making everyone laugh, getting kicked out of class, you know, play sport, thinking I want to be a sports star or whatever, so I don't really need to take this education thing seriously. In that moment, it was like, you know what, mum, I've got to change the way I'm thinking. I can't take this for granted, because actually you need me and I want to be able to help you. Then for me, it was about looking at what's my vision, like what's the vision that I have for myself. And I remember, like, I used to get in trouble in my house. I don't know about you, did you ever used to get in trouble for leaving the light on in the kitchen? Like, if you left the light in the kitchen, you could definitely get beats for that. Do you know what I mean? I remember one time getting beats from leaving the lights on the kitchen, go back to my room, look out my window, and I see Canary Wharf. Like, where I live is Limehouse. Limehouse is E14 postcode. Canary Wharf is E14 postcode. Imagine having the same postcode with some of the most wealthiest companies in the world, and you lot got the same postcode, yet you're on a council estate living in poverty. It can be so crazy. You can be in a position where I live in an area, I'm in a struggle, and other people live in the exact same area as me, and they're thriving and doing well. I looked at the buildings in Canary Wharf and all the lights were on. I was like to myself, rah, these men must have bare money. They must have bare dough to be able to leave the light on, because I can't even leave one light bulb in the kitchen, and they can leave 50 floors, all these different buildings, all the lights are on. Just that small thing, just me seeing that, I couldn't leave the light on in my kitchen, but these companies can afford to leave the light on in their buildings and go home. They must have money. That small thing made me then believe that I had to go and get in those buildings. Are you looking for the small things in your life to encourage you to make a difference and make a change to where you're gonna be? Like, one of the things I had to realize is I'm not defined by where I am. Yeah, I'm in poverty, I'm on a council estate, yeah, I've got parents, I'm not even from this country, they're still trying to learn and struggle. All of these things are happening and all these things are surrounding me, but I'm not gonna let that define me. Like, too many of us are defined by the titles, oh, you know, you're a young black male, so you can only do this. Oh, you're a woman, you can only do this. Oh, you're old, you can only do this. Oh, you're young, you can... Like, I'm not gonna allow society to define the things that I can achieve. I'm gonna see it for myself and I'm gonna go and do it. And that's what I did. I focused on getting into those buildings. The main buildings I could see was the Barclays building and the HSBC building. And I said to myself, I wanna get into one of those two buildings and I wanna be able to get in there and change my life. And by 22, I become the youngest financial advisor in Barclays in the country. Like, it's absolutely crazy. I didn't have no uncle, no auntie, no friends or family in there. Straight grinding. I started off at Marks and Spencer's 5 a.m. in the morning. From Marks and Spencer's, I got a job as a cashier in Barclays. From there, I trained up and developed and then become a financial advisor. The biggest thing I learned across that journey was value. When you can add value, it doesn't matter, like, it's not about your position. At Barclays, for example, I was a cashier, but I was very good at what I did. I was able to add value and be good at what I did. And because of that, I was able to become the key person in that branch. As in, when I wasn't in the branch would struggle to hit their target. They would struggle to hit on the days when I weren't in because of the value that I brought. So sometimes don't allow the definition of your job title to define you as a person, number one. And number two, if you are a cashier, you don't want to be a cashier, you want to become a branch manager or you want to become an area manager or whatever it is you want to become. You don't become that by staying in the mindset of a cashier. You don't become that by staying, acting and just doing what cashiers do. You have to start walking in where you want to be. So if I know I want to become a branch manager, I need to start thinking about, what do branch managers do? What are the skills that they have? How can I show people that I have the skills? So now you start to operate outside of the title of your role. And when you start to do that and start to add value, that's how you get the promotion you're chasing. That's how you start to live the dreams that you want to live. That's what I did. All my colleagues in my financial advice team, they were mid-40s, early 50s. And I'm here at 22. They're all old enough to be my mum or dad. And I remember looking at that time and the money that I was earning at that time, I was like, rah, I'm earning more money than a lot of my uncles, a lot of the people, the adults in my life at just 22. I knew quickly and early that I weren't going to make the grad scheme. I weren't going to get that 2-1 that you need minimum to get on a grad scheme. I don't make an excuse and say, okay, I'm not going to get those grades, so now I'm going to do nothing. I went and got the experience. And so when a lot of my friends were applying for grad schemes and earning, 18, 19, 20K, I was out here earning 50K year one, straight out of uni. What I learned across the journey is that you can have a dream and a goal, but that doesn't mean that when you get it, life is going to be rosy. Like, I dreamed about becoming a financial advisor. I dreamed about being successful. But the reality was when I got there, I didn't actually enjoy what I was doing each every day because I just felt like I was waking up and helping rich people get richer. And I didn't feel like that was my purpose. It's really important for you to know what your purpose is, know why you're doing what you're doing. I took the skills and everything that I learned, took it to social media. When I took it to social media, people were like, you're trying to help poor people with financial advice. it's not a great business model. And this is why I always tell people, it's your vision. Don't ever allow somebody else to project their insecurities, project what they are scared of, the things that they fear onto you. That was my vision, to give financial advice to normal people who grew up in backgrounds like mine and get them to be better so that they can build wealth. And guess what? I'm living it now. The big thing for me is about focusing on what you want to achieve and putting your all in. So I got made redundant 3 times in a row. Like, I was like, rah, this is serious. And sometimes it felt like you could look down on yourself. You could feel like rejected and feel unwanted and feel like you're not important. I felt like maybe I'm not good at my job. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe they're right. Maybe I need to change the way I talk. Maybe I need to change the way I walk, change the way I dress. I need to fit in with them if I want to keep a job, if I want to do financial advice the way it's supposed to be, because I need to do it professionally. But no, what I needed to do was do it in my style and in my way. The final job, when it made me redundant, I was like, you know what, I'm not going back. I focused on social media. And I said to myself, if I can work from 9 to 5 for these, man, meaning I wake up early, if I wake up 7 o'clock for them or 6:30 for them, I'm going to wake up even earlier for me. I was like, I'm waking up 6 o'clock in the morning to live my dream, to focus on my dream. I put in the hours. I did Instagram lives. I posted 2 or 3 times a day. I did collaborations. I did events. I did talks. I did everything I could do to build up my profile. I went on courses to learn more, to develop, to understand how I can add as much value as possible. That was in March 2019. By August, I got the call to say I got my first TV show with Channel 4. And by November, the show was out. Just in that short space of time, I went from wanting to do it to actually being on national TV, doing it on Channel 4. Then the pandemic hit. And this is why I tell people about opportunity. A lot of the time, we're searching for the opportunity. Actually, a lot of the time, you do the work and then the opportunity will find you. So the opportunity came that the lockdown happened. Everyone's talking about money. George Floyd happened and people were like, we need to get more black people or more people from ethnic minorities to give them an opportunity. And so they needed someone to talk about finance and they needed someone black. Hello, I'm here. Eman exists. This is my time. Actually, if I had waited and tried to put myself out afterwards, I would have been the first candidate. I wouldn't have been able to take that opportunity. So it's really important that you're doing the work along the way. And so from there, I started speaking national TV. I've done BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, Sky News, all of it. Do you know what I mean? I've had multiple TV shows, digital shows on YouTube for Channel 4 as well. It's all going well. And now I work for myself since then. So the point being is that you're not defined by where you come from. And now I work and operate on a national scale. So I hope people can take stuff from my story. I hope it can help you encourage. This is like a quick summary of it all and just some of the lessons that we learned. Let me know if there's anything else you want more detail on. Let me know if there's any questions you have. Let me know the things that you're struggling with and I can cover these stuff in other videos. But I hope that helps someone. Thank you for listening.